Hello anglers, Uncle Jesse here from James Gang Fishing Company, proudly representing FAFO Fishing from Wisconsin, and I'm here to put together a video of my first ice fishing trip for the 2025 season. First trip for the year ended up being perfect conditions, no wind, about 31 degrees, 32 degrees. Spot I went to is a new lake that James Gang pro staffer Jazz Duncan told me about. Gave me a tip, there's some nice bluegills there. Be a good place to kayak fish, so I thought I should try out maybe ice fishing it. Had a nice low barometer, perfect front setup, no wind at all. It was just absolutely amazing out. No snow on the ice, you can see through when you're reeling the fish in. Got a new shipment to FAFO Fishing's ice fishing jigs, the grease frying tungsten jig. And I went really small, 3mm. I thought it was too small. Ended up being the perfect size to get him to bite. I tipped him with a live spike, and then I used some fish scent as well.
First time ever using the FAFO Fishing greaser. Come on, be an eater, be an eater. Oh yeah, nice. Nice.
Now when you're marking multiple fish on a flasher and you end up getting one to fire and you land it, you're going to want to get your jig back down as soon as you can. Most of my bites ice fishing, this kind of reminds me of smallmouth fishing in the summertime with jerk baits, is your bites are created by competition. A lot of times they are very competitive and they don't want their buddies to eat. So if you can fire off the school and make them upset with each other, they're going to race to it to try to get the jig before their friends do.
There he is. Yeah, I got the right setup. I got the really small jig, and I got that little dinky spike. They're really slow approaching. This could be a better one. Oh yeah, beast. Oh my gosh, what a fish. Okay, this is what I got the tip on. These are monsters. And just like that, Mr. Jazz, that was a 9-inch bluegill. That was a very nice fish. I'm going to set up a tip down real quick. Joe Holland makes these while at a trade show, and I really am kind of starting to enjoy the whole.
So I'm pretty new to the whole tip down thing. I haven't had much luck over my years with crappie minnows so much. I have found a few lakes recently up north that they do prefer that method, and I have had some really good luck with the first class tip downs by Joe Holland. He makes some in the Eau Claire area, does some trade shows. Look him up online, find him on Facebook, look up, I think he's got a website possibly. Really good quality tip downs. So what I like to use is 2-pound fluorocarbon line. I just use the little tiny, you can either use a jig from FAFO Fishing and just tip it with a little crappie minnow, but when you're using your flasher, find that mark where they like to suspend. The ones that suspend off the bottom are the ones that like to eat, and kind of set it about a foot above or half a foot above where they've been hanging out, and let them just come and go. And you start seeing the tip down bouncing up and down, you know you have a bite, and just reef on it and then land line it on up.
About 9 inches of ice. FAFO fishing, baby. Keep them under the limit.
So as you'll probably notice in the video, I kind of have a lot of confidence in jigging very, very aggressively to try to get the really active fish to bite or to really fire up the school. Almost similar to power fishing in the summertime for bass. But when they don't want to commit, if they're looking at it, they're coming after it, but they just don't bite, I rely on dead sticking it. So I'll lay the rod down so I don't do anything stupid. So I don't. It's so touchy. Just the slightest movement and that jig's gonna move in front of a little fish down there. So if you put the fish down on the ice, or the rod down on the ice, you won't accidentally move it or bump it and do anything dumb. And the fish will just kind of have a reactive bite to that a lot of times. And it seems to work well for me. I've had a lot of luck in that over the years. Now typically my rule is if you see suspending fish several feet off the bottom, sometimes halfway up, 2/3 the way up, I'm always going to assume it's crappies. But once in a while, a really, really aggressive, really nice sized bluegill will come join, or possibly a really good perch will come and run up a ways. You see it a lot more in real clear water, you won't see it in murky water. But in this situation here, I caught another really good keeper bluegill. I think this guy was 8.5, not quite 8 3/4, but this was probably my third best fish of the day.
Could be fun. 10.5. Usually when they do that crap, they get out at the end, but not this time, buddy. Alright, so I got some quality fish here. Got probably about a 12-inch crappie in there. I got a 9-inch bluegill, which is really good for me. Fished this new lake with that FAFO fishing 3mm tungsten. First time trying it, and I'm finding out that I think it's the way to start. I thought I always fished a lot bigger than that, and I didn't miss a lot of fish today. I missed some bites altogether. But I didn't lose anything on the reel in, which is unheard of. That little guy really hooks the snout good and stays on. 2-pound test and my ardent reel, and get that drag set right. Pretty good time. I think I kept about 10 quality fish, probably. Yeah, there's about 10 good ones in there. Lots. Well, Howard, I'm back with my fish. Got done ice fishing. I'm gonna go clean my big old bluegill and crappies. You have anything to say, Howard? He's always got something to say. Come here, you big beast. You're a giant. Well, my first time ever using the FAFO fishing grease fryer tungsten 3mm jig turned out to be quite well. I think I probably caught about 20 fish. They're very finicky. I think that's just the way they are. Just like they're obviously run a little bit bigger, so they're not as stupid as the ones that are smaller on other lakes. This guy here was 9. I thought that was maybe 12, but I'm thinking it's probably more like 11.5 because it's way longer than the 9er. The 9 actually measured. And then, knowing that lake's higher quality, I didn't keep anything under 7. I think that guy there is 7 1/4 or something. And then we got some good, probably 9 to 11s here. 9.5 to 11, I don't know. But, what a fun time fishing with the tungsten. Tied it on with a San Diego jam knot on my ardent reel. I never broke off once. And I learned that those tiny jigs work well for better fish. I didn't lose them coming up to the hole like I typically do. I think it really got them good in the snout. I was hooking them like right there, barely. The jig is so tiny that it sneaks in there. Alex's vending machine will be stocking red spikes here. They'll be coming in, shipping in tomorrow. That's actually my preferred live bait, is a red spike over a white spike. Don't know if they would have hit that better or not, but more than likely. I'm trying a different lake out on Saturday if I feel well, and maybe I'll get some more content that day. 2-pound tungsten, or 2-pound test fluorocarbon, 3mm tungsten, FAFO fishing, grease fryer tungsten jig. Check them out, FAFOfishing.com. It was a good time. Look at the eyes of these crappies. You can tell, they always like to look up. Bluegills are more normal. Pike, they're on the top of the head, but crappies are always looking up. Just the eyes are actually on the top part of their head. Bluegills are more of a side thing going on. So you want to keep that jig above them, and sometimes you got to play a little game with them for 5 minutes to get them to fire. Everything I know about ice fishing I learned from Howard the Duck. Isn't that right, Howard? Howard, come here. There's Rosemary. There's Venom over there. Howard, Shirley, and Daisy. Yeah, show her who the boss is.